Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to finish the Q&A, or try to, but there's 28 questions left and I don't think I'm going to get to all of them because I like to talk a lot. This is going to be very laid back and yeah. So first question we have is, do you want to have children? I was too sick, so we adopted a beautiful baby boy who looks just like my husband. He was 17 hours old when we got to him. That is so great. As for me, I do plan on having children. I would like to have at least one, just to go through the whole experience and all of that. And I just always pictured myself having at least one kid. Being diagnosed with lupus, I have known that it's something that might not be able to happen. And you never know under the circumstances, but women with lupus can have children. Another concern for me is if my child will develop lupus as well. It's a lot to think about, and it's something I think about often. But I am also willing to adopt, as you did, and it's something I have thought about a lot as well. So the next question I have is, are mouth sores, gum tenderness, sore throat, earaches part of the whole lupus thing? So with this one, yes. I do get the mouth sores and the sore throat. The sore throat probably the most. If I'm really tired, sore throat, instant. It's just my first warning sign that, hey, you're getting too tired, take it easy, rest. Actually, it's usually a sign that I need to go to sleep. As for the mouth sores, every once in a while I get them. That's probably my only other problem. Gum tenderness, I don't really get that. Earaches, it all depends. But yes, those are lupus symptoms. And also you said, I hope that I look wonderful and I hope it reflects the true state of your health right now, which is very true. I have been feeling good. The costochondritis is better, and that made a world of difference. I still have some lupus symptoms, but feeling better. Okay, so there's another question. What would you say helps you emotionally through the tough times of being sick? How do you cope with yourself to not suffer with tremendous and multiple amounts of panic attacks? So this is something that has taken a lot of time for me because it is so difficult, especially when you had a life before lupus and then everything just changes. It flips upside down and now you have this whole new life you have to adjust to. So it took me quite a few years, and I think in my 5th year, I talked about this in a video before, but I developed anxiety, and that is something that's very common among lupus patients, and it's really just because of how that lupus physically drains you and also mentally drains you. So how do I cope with it? Really, it took a lot of time and patience and just learning my body and learning how to minimize the stressors that would happen to me. And I got on medication for panic attacks, which I am now off. And I also went to a therapist, and those things helped me. But, I still have my days, and it just helps that I have a very supportive family and boyfriend, and my dog helps me. And you just really have to find what works for you. So this question's kind of related to the other one. It's, how can ill people have kids when there's a possibility that they might inherit all this? I think about it all the time. I talked about this in the other question, and it freaks me out. It does. I'm not even gonna lie. Especially if I have a girl, just knowing that 90% can develop lupus. For me, I was the first in my family diagnosed with lupus, so it relaxes me a little bit, but then my cousin and my grandmother also had Sjogren's, which I have as well. I know that it's about a 10 to 15% chance if the mother has lupus to pass it on. So we'll see when that time comes. So the next question is, so basically this question is saying that whenever she gets a flare-up, She's really upset and scared for the future and whether she'll be able to live with her limitations. It's tough. It's extremely tough, and it's something that I feel as well when I have flare-ups, and just thinking, how am I going to be able to work with this? How am I going to have children one day with this? How am I going to deal with all these life situations if I'm this sick? It's tough, but you have to mentally get out of that space. You have to climb out, and I've said this in one of my Instagram posts before, is just to get out of the depths, and you're so deep in it, but to be able to climb out and to see the light and basically continue on. And you will do it. You will. I promise. If you have the mindset to do it, even if it's not anything crazy, it's just getting up for the day and cleaning the dishes. You know, you can do it, and you will do it. That's all you have to tell yourself. And it sounds ridiculous when you're talking about a little simple thing like that, but that one step is going to lead to the next, and eventually you'll get there. And also, will I visit Russia one day? I am down to visit anywhere, and I do want to travel more in the future, so maybe I just will. How do you manage to remember to take your medications every day? So, I do have a weekly pill thing that I don't always fill up, but I have it, so that is a good tip, is to get one of those, and then you can fill your pills for every day. It's easier to remember that way. I also have a timer for some of my medications, and sometimes I do forget. Not any serious medications, but I try to take my medications more so at night, soon after dinner, so it's easier to remember and to get in the routine of it. So, have you ever considered going vegan or even just vegetarian? Because a lot of people that are into fitness don't realize how many amazing high-protein vegan dishes there are. I actually have a couple friends who are vegan, and they have shown me the world of veganism. I am not opposed to it. I would try it one day. Just right now, it's just hard. I can't even explain the full situation, but right now it's too tough to try it. But it might help me one day. And it's also hard because when you have a disease like lupus, sometimes it's difficult to eliminate all that and not be able to eat certain things like too many tomatoes, potatoes, and just any of those. So it can be difficult, and I really need to have a solid plan before I do something like that. Really, I only eat turkey and chicken. Those are really the only two meats that I eat right now, and for the most part, I am dairy-free. So, do you think you will ever go back to Benlysta? Why or why not? I felt great on Benlysta. I have actually talked to my doctor about going back on it, and he is about it. He really likes the medication that I am currently on, and basically his viewpoint on Benlysta is that it hasn't been around all that long. Actually, when I was on Benlysta, I was on it the first year that it got approved, which was amazing. And within 6 months, I started to notice a big difference. And I happened to be one of the ones that it did work well on. There were some issues. I was getting a rash, and it turns out I still get that rash, so it wasn't the Benlysta. But also in regards to insurance, and I was switching from pediatric to adult rheumatologist, and it was just too complicated. But yes, I wouldn't be opposed to going back on Benlysta if the CellStep starts to not work very well for me. That's what I would like to go on next. Okay, so this next question is if you have a Malar rash all the time or if it comes and goes with the flares. So that is the butterfly rash, and I only get it when I'm flaring, and mine is not that severe. It's very, very light and faint, but I have gotten it pretty deep red before. It's usually just when I'm getting tired, or if I've been in the sun too long, or if I'm going into a flare. Are you still working? Yes. Right now, I am currently working part-time, and I am also trying to build a business. So it is tough, and I completely understand where you are coming from. For the most part, I have worked part-time. I also was in school for much of the time, but it's very hard for me to work full-time. Now I'm trying to build a business where I can make my own schedule and make things work the way that my body will. And hopefully it works out. Do you have any overlapping autoimmune diseases? So yes, I have not only lupus, that was my first disease. I also have Raynaud's with that, and Sjogren's, and TMJ. Also anxiety, just the whole list. Okay, so this is going to have to be it. This video is awfully long, and I tried my best to answer all your questions. Thank you for submitting them. I'm excited to get back to my informational videos next week, and maybe for the ones that I've missed, I will try to touch on those in a more in-depth informational video. But alright guys, thank you for watching again. As always, don't forget to subscribe, get notified, and like the video. Okay, get some sleep. I need to go to bed. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.